Hey guys, welcome to this week's stretch and mobility session. This time we've got a little bit more of a focus on things that you can do to help your squat out. So the first thing you might need is a dog ball if you've got one. If you haven't, don't worry. This is just for the first movement, so we're going to use it fairly quickly and then that will move on to the next thing, which is your foam roller. So you will need one of these. And then post-rolling, we'll go into a few mobilisations and stretches from there. So with this one, if you've got one, this is for the bottoms of your feet. It's quite nice. I like to do this before I squat. So essentially what you will do is either standing or sitting on a chair, place your foot on the top of your ball. I keep saying dog ball, it's because mine is a dog ball, but if you've got something else, then that's fine. And then rolling it around the bottom of your foot. If you don't have one, that's fine. We can just come to cross-leg position, bring your foot up onto the other leg and just massage out the bottoms of the feet with your thumbs. Spend a little time here. You will find places that feel a little bit more sensitive, I guess, than others in the feet. You can hang around on those places a little bit more, also stretching out through the toes and not forgetting your heels as well. So if you've got your ball, again, you can use that to roll around. This position is not a great position to do this. I'd either sit in a chair or go to standing, but I don't want to disappear out the top of my camera for you guys. So spend a little bit of time doing that. And then once you have, obviously we'll swap and do the same thing on the other foot. So if you're on the floor massaging, we'll bring the other foot up on the top and just massage the bottom of the foot out with the thumbs, releasing some of that fascia and just loosening off. And again, if you've got your ball, you can be rolling out the foot on that too. So that's our first one. Spend as much time as you want on that one. And then we'll move on to foam rolling. So with this one, we're going to start rolling out the quads. So the main three sort of areas, the front, inside of the leg, and then outside as well. We won't spend too much time rolling, but if you wanted to spend a little bit more, then that's cool. You can just pause the video or do some more in your own time. But ideally, we don't want to spend ages rolling out, especially if it's pre-exercise. So with this one, we'll start with the front of the quad first. So moving over the top of the roller, we'll have hands on the floor, and then your other knee is going to be supporting. So if I just show you, start on the other leg so you can see. The other knee is going to be out to the side and supporting on the floor. And then with the support of this knee and the hands in front of you, you can roll yourself up and down, all the way to the hips and then all the way to the top of the knee. Obviously don't roll it over your kneecap. But again, you'll feel some areas that might feel like they need a little bit more attention, and you can hang around there, put a little bit more pressure, or just kind of massage out any niggles or lumps and bumps. So that's the front. What we'll then do from here is rotate ourselves around to the outside of the quad. So we're going to bring that support knee up now onto the foot so that we can get a nice twist to enable access to that side of the leg. And then again, hands in the floor to help you rolling up and down. And again, you might feel some parts that are in need of a little bit more attention, and you can give those here. Place number 3, we'll rotate round again. So we're going to go inside of the leg. The supporting leg is going to drop all the way to the floor so that you're literally just lying on top of the roller and accessing the inside. If you drop down now onto your forearms on your supporting hands at the front, then you can use the forearms and that leg on the floor to help you roll up and down. This one tends to feel a little more tender than the other sides. Sometimes a bit neglected, I think, but good to roll. So again, rolling up and down here as much as you need. And then once you're happy, we'll do exactly the same thing on the other leg. So shifting ourselves over so that we're now accessing the other leg on the front, knee on the ground, hands out in front, and you can use those to support you up and down on your roller. From there, bringing the foot up and turning the body so that we are now accessing the outside of the leg. We roll up and down here, just releasing a few times. Releasing. Cool, and then same thing as before, dropping the forearms to the floor, lying across your roller, making sure that that is on the inside of the leg. And again, using the forearms to kind of push the body around. Down. Cool. After this, we're going to shift around to the glutes. So with roller underneath you, pop your glutes on the top, and we're going to roll one side then the other. So if you just twist your body around so that you've got access to one side, and whichever side you're rolling, that foot will come out and then onto the top. And just nice quick roll again, up and down. And again, you might feel some places that need a little bit more time and attention, and that's cool. Awesome. Again, swap to the other side. So flipping over, same leg, that is the side that you're rolling comes up onto the top of the other knee. And we just roll up and down. Cool. Whilst we're here and we're on the roller, we are going to do lower back as well. So same thing as the glutes, we're going to go one side and then the other. Just make sure when you're rolling out the lower back that you don't twist around too much, so you're rolling out side body. You still want to be fairly close to the spine here, but it's just that the pressure, rather than being dead straight, is tilted slightly one way, so that you're getting really into those muscles on that one side of your lower back. And again here, if you want to add more pressure, you can take the hands around so that your full body weight is on, and use the feet to push you. Or if it's too much for now, we can keep the hands on the floor and use those to take a little bit of pressure off the roll. Good. And then same thing for that, we go one side and then the other. So just rotating yourself around so you've got access to the other side. Again, not twisting too much. And giving yourself as much or as little pressure as you need in that. Awesome. We'll leave that for now. We'll move on into some stretches. So we just pop that away. We'll come into the centre. So first thing we're going to do is a little bit of cat-cow. So also important to mobilise and stretch out, release sort of the back core areas, depending on what type of squatting you're doing. Also, you might need to go higher up, but knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. From here, pushing the spine away, curling the back around, holding on at the top there, and then lowering belly button down towards the floor, opening out through the chest, and just moving nice and smoothly through those two movements. And if you want to as well, have a little bit of a play with some side to sides, depending on what feels nice. Through there. Cool. Hands stay on the floor. What we're going to do now is tuck the toes under to a plank position. From here, we're going to bring one foot all the way up by the hands, one of my favourites. Definitely done this before if you've done any stretching and mobilising with me. This is, so we've got a nice long lunge here. We're going to drop the pelvis down towards the floor as much as you can. So really opening out through the hips. And we're going to move. So forward and backwards, side to side, figure of 8, but just move through the stretch so that we're opening up through the movement rather than a static stretch. So we'll work around here for a little while and then place the back knee down on the floor. The same hand as the leg that's forward, we drop the elbow towards the floor and then open and twist towards the ceiling. Drop the elbow, open and twist. So rotating the torso up as much as you can. We'll do that 3 to 5 times depending on how fast you're moving, and then we'll do exactly the same thing on the other side. So replacing the hand on the floor, tuck the toes under, we go back to our plank position. Then we'll take the other foot up by the hand. From here, we're in a nice long lunge. We drop the pelvis towards the floor, really opening out. Send the chest forward too. And moving around in this bottom position. Forward and back, side to side, figure of 8. Whatever you like. Cool. Dropping the back knee, drop the same elbow towards the floor as the leg that is up, and then open and twist. 3 to 5 of these. Good. Awesome. We'll keep this leg for now, and we're just going to shift ourselves into a pigeon. So we'll bring the foot underneath us, drop the knee to the floor. So here we can play with how close the heel is to the hips. Okay, if you can or want to, you can take it a bit further away just to open out that leg a bit more. Or we can keep it in nice and close, that's fine. Okay, so we're in pigeon. The hips are square. We want belly button to go over towards the knee and the shin, and then the foot, and we're just going to rotate through those 3 points. And it doesn't matter how low down you get here, just keep the chest nice and proud and think about getting the belly button over towards those points as far as you can. Good. A few more times and then we're going to do that on the other side. Cool. So bringing the hands underneath you, we'll take that foot back, moving back through a plank position, bring the other leg up and in and pop it on the floor. Again, play with that heel position. From here, belly button towards the knee, shin and the foot. Keep the chest as up as you can. Cool. Awesome. Sticking with the hips, we're going to come out of that position and we're going to find a new one in which we have got one leg out in front of us at a 90-degree angle, and then the other one as much as you can out to the side, also at 90-degree angles here. You should feel that in the hips, okay? Don't worry if you're sort of coming up a little bit, just notice that. And then from here, we send the hands down behind us and we're just going to roll over the balls of the feet, or the bottoms of the feet, from one side to the other, trying to keep that, or those 90-degree angles in the legs. Cool. Once we've done that with the hands down a few times, we're going to try taking the hands off and forward and rotating from side to side. You might move forward on this one. Start traveling around your space. Awesome. From here, we'll find this position again. We're going to sit up, so take your glutes off the floor, so sitting up, pushing the hips forward over the top, and then the back leg, the one that's behind you, is going to come up and forward into a kneeling position, disappearing, and then we'll come back, and then take a seat. Okay, we're going to do 5 of those, coming up, moving forward, back down, and down. So make sure, as you're moving, you're hitting these positions as best as you can. So up first, then around, then back and down. Okay, 5 times. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So once you're done, flip yourself over, find your position, come up, send the hips forward, bring the back leg around and reverse to sit. Okay, hips forward, squeezing the glutes, coming round, send it back, and then sit. Again, 5 of these, just in your own time. Good, keep going. So we've got 5 of those on each side. Once we finish, we're going to come round into a squat position. So we can just roll over the feet here into a squat, or you can stand up and come down into it. Depends what your preference is. So for now, we're just going to sit in the bottom of our squat position. We'll dig the elbows inside the knees, hands together, and have a little wiggle around here. Really push the elbows into the knees to send them out, opening up. Then we're going to drop the hands to the floor, drop the elbows as much as you can, and drop the head down. And again, hips, lower back. And you can always be moving in these positions if you want to. Cool. Coming up, staying in the squat. Bear with me. We're going to take our whole body weight over to one side and push the knee forward over the top of the toes. So make sure that the knee is tracking the toes, but just the whole torso leaning in on that knee and pushing it forward. And again, we're just going to take a nice easy rock here. If you've got weight, usually sometimes it's quite nice to put a weight, maybe a plate or something on top of your knee, just as a bit of an extra push into that position for your ankles. Cool, then we'll go to the other side. So everything leaning over on top of that knee, making sure that it stays tracking the foot so that it's not rolling in. So keeping the knee out. Cool. Coming back to centre, we'll come out of our squat shortly, bear with me. Both hands planted on the floor, we're going to open and twist towards the ceiling, so another twist here, we hold it for a couple of seconds, and then come back down. Then the other side, so we're just going to rotate through from one side to the other. This planted hand that's on the floor, make sure that it's in contact with the knee, so that as you're twisting, it's there to stop the knee coming in, so you can kind of push against it in the twist. Keep going. Cool. Awesome. Here, stay there. Release one of your legs out to the side. So again, if that's okay for you, then you can just release the leg out as I did, or if you want to, you can come up to a nice wide leg position and then come down, find the stretch here. All right, so you should feel a nice stretch through the adductors here. And we're just going to move ourselves from one side to the other. So use the hands on the floor here to help you. Awesome. Moving one side to the other. Again, whichever side you're going to, just make sure the knee stays out. It's still pushing out, okay? So as not to roll in on the foot and have this position here. Awesome. Good. Couple more each way. And we're going to move into a cat stretch. So for this one, again, I may disappear a little bit off my screen, but bear with me. I'll show you here. So one knee against the wall. If your foot is okay with this position, then that's cool. But if you find that it doesn't bend that way, then you can use a chair or something to prop your foot on, or even a sofa, hence the name. so that you can get your knee as close to the wall as you can, or chair, whatever you're using. Use the hands on the floor to release the other leg so that the foot is nice and flat out in front of you, and then from here you can use your hands and the leg to bring you up and stretch through. So take a few seconds here. What's going to happen next is we're going to send the hands up and over, squeeze through the glutes to push the hips forward, and hold that squeeze for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release, hands to the floor, drop the hips forward for an extra stretch. Good, and then we'll swap and go the other side. So knee against your wall or your chair, whatever you're using, hands on the floor, foot comes up. We're just going to ease ourselves up into that stretch first of all for a few seconds, and then from there taking the hands up and over the head, squeezing the glutes, sending the hips forward, and holding that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Hands come down, drop the pelvis for your extra stretch. Cool, well done. Okay, from there, come back to the centre. We'll cross the legs. This is one of my favourite ones for lower back now. I discovered it through yoga the other day, but I do it all the time now. We're going to, from our cross leg position, take one hand over to the side, drop the elbow to the floor, and we'll just start with a nice side stretch here. So keep both sit bones on the floor, stretching over. If you want to do this one where we bring the hand forward and up, opening out through the chest and the upper back, that's cool. Take a few of those. But what we'll do from this position is keeping the fingertips stretching as far as you can. You're going to bring it round, round, round to touch the floor in front of you on a diagonal. Okay, drop the head down. And hopefully you should feel that through your lower back. Cool, and then we'll come out through our side stretch to go the other side. So hand goes down to the floor, elbow down, reaching up and over with the arm. We'll take our side stretch first. And then if you want to add in this one here, and after a few of those, we're going to reach over onto the diagonal, reach as far as you can, fingertips go to the floor, dropping the head, keeping the sit bones on the floor. Cool. Coming back out of that one. Oh, we will come up. Cool. I'm going to stop there because I could just keep going on and on and on. But if you've got any questions or you want any extra exercises for anything specific, then just send me a message. I'm really happy to help you as best as I can. But hopefully this has been helpful, and I'll see you next week for some more.